Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Final Fantasy co-op tournament. Game 2. Here we have Team Supersledge versus Team Ordeals with it. This is a Game 2 matchup of a Sweet 16 round of the tournament. And in the first round, Team Supersledge took down Ordeals with it. Team Supersledge is comprised of Super Luigi 52. He's a fellow we see around here all the time in the community, helping out with the tracking, doing comms every now and then. And Sledge, who I believe is one of our international racers. I think he's over in Europe. And they're taking on Ordeals with it, which is Neon Gray and Split Punched. Veterans in the community, and they're looking for a shot at redemption. We're going to get the race going here in just a minute. I'm going to be joined here in the booth by Dangwoo, who's also doing the restream for us, which is awesome for him. He's got that super sweet transition going. And we've got the Hangry Canuck tracking away at his hangriest. So we're going to get started in just a second here.
You are absolutely right, Caleb, and let me tell you, it is going to be a heck of a match here. It is the round of 16. This is the last matchup. Supersledge has a 1-0 lead, and they're going to go at it. You know, it's just as simple as that. The bosses are clamped. If you don't know what co-op is, bosses are clamped at this point, which means that they're going to have their original game stats. And they could go up to 100%, and instantly we get the game changer by Super Luigi.
So right off the bat, we find the mermaids and we find the Vorpal. Fun fact: what I love about this matchup here is we have Team Supersledge. Luigi and Sledge are both they're in the Duckling class with me. They're folks that joined the community during the spring tournament. They're in here. They're getting their feet wet. They're showing the power of new blood in this community. And they're looking to pull an upset and kind of break everyone's brackets and move on to the round of 8 here, as Team Ordeals with it is doing their best to fight off elimination. They need to win this game if they want to keep their hopes alive. And let's see what we have in level 1 magic. We have Sledge getting ready to walk in, check the shops. White magic, what do we got? We got anything good? In Viz 2, that is going to be promotion lock for the night, but anybody with a red wizard is also going to get that after promotion. In Black Magic, we've got Fire 3, Warp, and Quake. How do you feel about that level 1 Quake, Dang?
Quake, great. Warp, great. Fire 3, great. Quake, yes, please, give it to me.
I think I'm going to build myself a reputation for rolling seeds that favor the runners. As Split Punch, it looks like he is diving his first dungeon. I think this was the Temple of Fiends entrance, and he finds the Q block. So that's great information to find early on. You mark that down on your tracker, and you know that, hey, I got the Q block. I can always come back here whenever I need. The Q block, the Rod block, Marsh Split, and C Split are huge to find in these entrance and floor trackers, as those offer roadblocks as well as forks in the road. And when you're doing these entrance dives, when you find a dungeon, you kind of want to get to the bottom of it and figure out where it goes. And the roadblocks of the the rod block and the Q block are great to find and great to keep track of, because you never know what might be buried behind one of those. It could be Elfland Castle, it could be a fiend, it could be a Cardia treasure or a Sarda with a great loose item that we're looking for. It could also just be a Cardia trash and be a big old zonk and just be a waste of time. All right, so right away, Sledge finds Provoca and Provoca, because these towns are not shuffled. So if you've been watching the spring tournament, or if you watch the round of 8 matchup from Sunday night, you'll notice that those flags, you might be used to seeing towns in different places. In this flag set, we have towns in their vanilla location, which means early on, the runners are going to have access to all 4 levels of magic very quickly, which is going to make their diving and clearing a lot better. So when towns get shuffled in these flag sets, Provoca could end up in Mirage. It could be very far away, very hard to get to. It may be a while before they get that level 2 magic, but not here in these flag sets.
Let me tell you, Caleb, I absolutely missed that already. After yesterday's seed of the round of 8, the upstarts versus Shadow Walker and them. Sorry, I forgot.
The Zodiac Braves?
Yeah, the Zodiac Braves. You know, hoping to sweep them because I am terrified of them. But anyways, I am terrified. not having that guaranteed level 2 magic over at Provoca is terrifying, because we had to dive Ice Cave with nothing. No clear spells.
So it looks like Bicky gave the canoe, which is awesome. That's a great find. And the pirates have Lightning 3, which does not feel good. As Neon Gray, they found a dungeon here, which is one of the lava floors. I think that's Volcano 4. Those are good. Those are good floors to find. There's fewer squares for encounters, so you can kind of get to the bottom a little bit quicker, and there's no chests to distract you. As Split Punch is making their way up to Matoya's, and Neon Gray finds Lich. Go for it, Neon Gray. Go get that Lich. You're level. You may only be level 1, but you got Quake. All you need is turn order. I believe in you, Neon Gray. Go Quake that Lich at the 4-minute mark. Those are the kind of strats I want to see. You can see Neon Gray's probably talking to Split Punch, figuring out what they're going to do. As we find the floater for sale. That is huge. So with that floater for sale for only 7,700 gold, thank you, ETAP, for pointing that out in chat for me. That's a nice little find. How do you feel about that early floater seed, Dang?
Early floater is great, but I have to admit, I'm hoping for the Neon Gray Quake at this point. Please.
Yeah, Neon Gray Quake. That's what I want to see. Looks like they're going to take a few levels here. Maybe get a couple extra charges of Quake, just in case. But, man, I would have loved to see just, pull yourself up by those bootstraps and just jump in there and just throw Lich that birthday cake and watch him hit the ground, dumbling, bumbling, falling into cracks. And Sledge has made it to Crescent Lake. Not going to check the magic. They're just going to find out what the old men are holding on to. As it looks like it's the Oxyale. So there looks like there's a little bit of delay on Sledge's feed here. I'm finding his the items he's finding are making it over to Super Luigi before we actually see him get them. So there might be just some sort of delay with him being across the ocean there. But that's an awesome way to kind of show off how quickly you can get items from one character to another through this co-op, which was written by our own Meridian BC. This tournament wouldn't be possible without him. So big shout out to Meridian for standing this up. We find Life 2 in the one slot in Crescent Lake that the Red Wizards won't have access to, right there in that top slot. So having Life 2 white locked feels bad for anybody that doesn't have that white mage with them, which looks like Neon Gray and possibly Super Luigi. As Sledge is going to hop in his float boat and the world will become theirs to explore.
What about that top right, huh? Neon Gray, Quake and Lich. Let's go.
I missed it.
How could you? Although
I was too busy watching the float boat get pulled out of the sand. All right, Neon Gray. Those are the kind of gutsy calls I love to see in co-op. It's really the only kind of flag set that supports these sorts of calls, as Sledge finds himself in the waterfall, another low-level dive in a high-level area. I love to see it. This is awesome. We have a sub 8-minute airship, a sub 8-minute fiend kill, and we are off to the races. As once Team Ordeals with it makes its way over to Provoca here, they got their canoe. They're going to walk into that item shop and they're going to find that floater. Now, it's interesting that Sledge is in Volcano. I would have gone to Elfland Castle first to check that level 3 magic, see what is in Elfland Castle, and then I would have prioritized towns over entrances right now, especially having a teammate coming right behind me with the airship to do the entrance checks. As it looks like Neon Gray is making their way down to Northwest Castle. We're going to get some new information here. And we got Super Luigi taking some fights on their way to get the airship out of the ground. It looks like... I'm trying to figure... Okay, so it looks like... I'm trying to figure out what Split Punch is. He's pensive. He's thinking about, do I want to just take a couple fights, get a little bit of money? And... Oh, okay, they bought the floater. Cool. So they did the trick there, the little co-op handy trick where if you buy an item for say 7,000 gold and wait for your teammate to receive it, you can then reset and get your money back, and your teammate will give you the floater that you just bought back. It's sort of like a little paradoxical time loop that they create. And it's different than the paradoxical time loop that Chaos has created, in which our Light Warriors are trying to stop, as Neon Gray finds themselves in Temple of Ordeals. Now, was this Northwest Castle, Dang?
Yes, it was. It was Northwest Castle. And we just don't have, the time magic that Chaos has. He can travel back 2,000 years. We can only travel maybe, 10 seconds? Maybe 20 at most?
Unfortunately, you can't cast Zap on yourself. And probably would miss anyway.
It probably would.
I can just see it just ineffective. As Sledge finally makes his way to the waterfall, checking the trap tile. Oh, he's only gets the God turn order, runs away, first chance he can get, gets a loose slab. Loose slab I find turns up a lot in the waterfall, and he gets the tail.
No, don't move.
So the
Sledge.
tail.
Don't move. Just sit there and be pretty. Don't move. Oh, he's moving. Oh, you got balls, sir.
He skipped. He skipped the chest too. Did he check that chest in between? It stream's a little choppy. It looked like he just kind of bounced and didn't check that second to last chest. But hopefully he got it. It was just a little bit of money or something like that. But he gets the save, and Super Luigi is diving a seafloor, taking a big iron shark fight, a Gur shark. That's a great fight to hit before level 10 if you can take it down. Split Punch grabs the Oxail, prepares to share it as Neon Gray takes a tough wipe to some mummies in Temple of Ordeals. Sledge dive in the ice cave. We got runners all over the place.
I mean,
all on the lower continent, man.
I mean, that's huge on Sledge's part, though. The turn order to run with one black mage, then
to get that.
I mean, it's huge because that could pay off. That was 2 key items instantly plus a tail.
Yep, and those 2 cams are more experience for both of the runners. And Crabcakes in chat pointing out that it was a preemptive strike that the Black Mage got on that trap tile, which is something that doesn't happen in the vanilla game. That's another feature of the randomizer here, where we can make those trap tiles, we can make those fiend fights on those unrunnable fights. We can make them ambushes, and we can make them preemptive strikes. So it's one of my favorite things, and I think there was in the duckling seed that Moist Mogwai Mama Duck put up this week. That feature's turned on, and when I ran it this morning, I got a couple ambushes or preemptive strikes on fiends, and it was great. As Sledge finds Corneria Castle, Super Luigi finds Tiamat in Matoya's cave. That's something we hadn't seen. That's a great find. That's our second fiend that we've located. In addition, with that fiend, we have found the tail with it. I'm sorry, you didn't find Corneria Castle. You found Temple of Fiends. And Temple of Fiends was in the ice cave. Good to know. So now we need to find Corneria Castle so we can go talk to the Princess Sarah, and we can talk to the king, and we can get 2 more key items. As Super Luigi finds his very own undead wizard, Pop-Tart. And we got a ribbon. We got a ribbon in the Temple of Fiends. And Hold in Hand, Split Punch finds a ribbon. And a silver axe. And the flame armor. So, foot race through Temple of Fiends. And Sledge is off to Elfland. Looks like they're going to get level 3 and 4 magic. And check out the Elfland Castle entrance. This Split Punch and Neon Gray, they came to play today. They got a Quad X hat.
Nuke level 3. Quad, I think there was Fast was level 3 also. Ruse is level 3, but it's unfortunately not night learnable. Life was white mage only. Huge loose item in the incentive chest in Ordeals. That is not an incentivized location. So if our runners find Ordeals and don't check it, they will be missing a ribbon and the adamant for quite a while. As here we go, Fire 3. Fire 3 gets it done. So they do it the old-fashioned way. They don't do it with the Quake strats. But look at those levels pouring in. As they light their first orb at 13 minutes 30 seconds,
and both Sledge and Split Punch foot race through the bottom half of your screen. As Super Luigi is with the airship, gets to Elfland a little bit faster than Neon Gray. All right, so much action. Level 3 nuke, level 3 fast. That's awesome that we'll have access to fast. It's less awesome that it's going to chew up at least one of our nukes in order to be able to cast that.
The good news is, as long as slow's not hit, we only need 1 cast of fast, or 5 cast altogether, if you really want to kill all 5 fiends in Temple of Fiends.
So we have life is also white lock, and I believe Ruse was as well. I think Ruse was in the 2nd slot.
Yep,
Ruse was in.
Yep, Ruse was in the 2nd slot. Life was in the 4th slot. All white magic only, unfortunately.
Yeah, rip red mage right now. The level 3 nuke makes up for it, but that means no life
locked.
magic.
Cure 4 is also locked to the white mage.
That. Oof. So the teams, I think, I know we have a couple teams with players down, or with player characters down. It looks like Super Luigi might be the only one running without a white mage, but he does find Corneria Castle, so he's gonna get to check the princess and the king. And if we get the key, we can check the armory while we're here. Neon is using custom sprites, so when Neon goes into Neon is also missing a white mage. So when Neon goes into their menu, we'll be able to see what that character is. If you can, it looks like Fast or Thief. What was his name?
It said Thief.
Okay, so all right, Super Luigi finds Temple of Ordeals. That's huge for them that he's actually checking it and not orphaning it. So he's going to get that ribbon. He's going to get that adamant. And everybody partying on the spider floor. Oh, man. How you doing, Dang?
I am just trying to just absorb the amount of action and excitement that is going on. We've already seen my favorite spell, Quake, kill Lich inside of 8 minutes. Yes, please. May I have more?
I like Quad X. That's probably one of my favorite spells. So I'm hoping we'll get our fair share of Quad X's throughout the Temple of Fiends. Split Punch dives the waterfall. He's gonna find his slab. He's gonna find his tail. This race isn't gonna be promotion locked, as Sledge finds Matoya's cave. I believe that's at the bottom of somewhere.
It's somewhere, Sledge out.
I tried
investigating things.
So when I was in the army, when I was overseas driving around. Okay, so that's underneath the star-shaped floor. So Super Luigi through the Temple of Ordeals. When we were driving around overseas looking for bad things on the roads, we would do a figure 8 scan. Checking the horizon, weaving through the road ahead of you. That's how we would scan it. That's kind of what I'm doing here. So I'm checking Super Luigi, I'm checking Neon Gray, I'm going to Sledge, I'm going to Split Punch, and I'm just cycling through, doing like a Z pattern here. And still missing stuff.
Yeah, it looks like Matoya was underneath at the bottom of Elfland. It's either the town of Elfland or Elfland Castle.
It's Elfland Castle. Elfland Town is Elfland Town. We have vanilla towns with these flags.
Oh yeah, that's right. I already knew that, but for some reason
it's cool, man.
We just talked about it. Like, I have already forgotten about it,
ADHD is real, man.
I just want more cake. I just want more cake.
All right. So, we got new information coming in, maybe. Neon Gray still needs to go pick up their airship. Start exploring, start diving those Cardi Isles, go up and... Okay, so it looks like the chest that I think Sledge... I doubt he skipped it. I just think his stream skipped it. It was just 2,700 gold, and we got a heal 3 stick and a stun stick. So Super Luigi finds the cattle prod up in Temple of Ordeals as well.
Now,
and we're gonna get that slab translated.
The interesting thing about that too is the stun magic item is if a person is less than 301 health, they get paralyzed. So if you don't have Quad X, it's a good way of keeping the Fiend from getting an extra turn of sorts too.
So looks like Titan's East was Titan's East, Titan's West is Marsh Cave, and Sarda was the Rod Block. So stun strats are something we don't see very often because usually runners don't usually buy those kind of status spells unless it's very specific flag sets that benefit it. But I like to see the stun strats, the stop strats, as Sledge does the big walk through the room, kind of chews up some extra steps on the encounter table there, and pays the price for it with those ice 2 bones. So what Sledge did there, typically you see runners come into this room and they'll walk along the bottom and then head up to the chest and then walk straight back down and then walk back along the bottom, because on the bottom row in each room, the way the game is programmed, are no encounter, as it's Titan's East, it's Titan's West. So to make it extra confusing, we got inverted Titans.
But we found the adamant in Ordeals. On top of that, in the bottom left chest where Supersledge was just at, the ribbon was there, and what we were just talking about, the Quad X helmet has been found.
Mm-hmm. And Superluigi is telling Sledge where that was. Now, if you're these runners, you have access to the whole world. How much longer do you wait before you start dipping the Cardi Isles? There's so many entrances up there, and they're all clustered on top of one another. What would you do here, Dang?
Repeat the question one more time. I'm sorry.
How much longer would you hold off the Cardi Isle check? Do you go to Onrak and Waterfall? Do you go to Vanilla Ordeals? What would you do here? Where's your next play?
It kind of depends on. I mean, sometimes it's nice to do a big split between the two people, because then it's a lot less overlapping of each other, or constantly trying to tell each other where you're at, what you're doing. Because if you're both diving the same room, sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's not nice, because you're clearing the same room.
Yeah. So what strategy would you and Gregory Puff employ here? Not that I'm scouting you or putting you on the spot.
Well, between Griggly and I, our plan is Garland has been defeated on Supersledge's time, or on Supersledge's, or Super Luigi's side. Basically, it would come down to, I would tell Griggly, I'm going here. He would say, okay, great. And then he would say, he's going there. And then I would completely forget about it, and somehow I'd end up right where he was at.
And it looks like Split Punch is in Onrak. He has the Oxyale. So we got the key from the princess, which is huge. I don't think Team Supersledge is the first to find it. Split Punch is going to dive the Onrak dungeon, which is one that oft overlooked as we find Marsh Bottom. So Split Punch, without that key from the Princess Sarah, isn't going to be able to check that incentivized location in the bottom right of this room. So slight of a little bit of a, not necessarily a misstep, but not going back to Princess Sarah after you downed Garland. It's going to cost them a little bit of time here when they have to double back.
The light axes have been... The key was found by Princess Sarah after defeating Garland and talking to the princess. Light axes have been changed to slow axes.
Oh. They still hit pretty hard. As Split Punch finds the C split here, and was that just one floor down? Immediately, is that Vanilla C split? As Ordeals with it is taking a long walk to Vanilla Ordeals.
I gotta admit, with those splits, they are some of the evilest floors to run into when they are back to back, and they're deep, like 4, 5, 6 floors deep.
Yeah.
And you're just like, please end. I'm tired of you already. Yeah.
And when that happens, in my experience, I've usually found those splits will end in a Fiend or a Northwest Castle or an Elfland Castle. It'll be somewhere that you need to come back to. So, quick question, Dang. Did you see where Un was? Was he in Vanilla location in Melmon? Because our objective NPCs can be shuffled here.
I have not seen Dr. Un. I know the Elf Doctor was in Melman, and we haven't seen Bahamut,
Okay.
and we haven't seen Melman. No, we did see. I'm sorry, we haven't seen Bahamut or Elfland Castle yet.
Okay. So Arsahags with Toxic. That is scary for any seafloor. Okay, C-Split is in the waterfall. Left side C-Split leads to Northwest Castle. So that's good information to have. There wasn't any floors between it. Right side leads to Mirage 1. All right. All kinds of new information. We're sharing. We're taking notes. You can see. Well, we're not, but you can see Split Punch
Map
pausing.
stress. Take a drink.
Stress. I got my water.
I got my Arizona tea, and I literally drank it just as that popped up too. It was perfect timing.
All right. Neon Gray and Super Luigi holding hands in Cardia Forest. I love it. I love watching co-op or spring tournament races or anything where the runners are taking completely different paths through the game but end up intersecting. And it's just sort of captivating to watch. I know I was watching you and Gregory Puff do a little practice the other day, and I said watching other teams practice is fascinating because I feel like strategies for co-op, strategies for playing this game together with these sorts of flags and this sort of programming, the strategy has really been created in a vacuum with each team kind of working together, coming up with their own strategy. We all have those different ways that we approach this game, but the ways we approach it together, we all kind of think about it a little bit differently. And seeing them employed and talking and hearing people talk about it, it's fascinating. This is the first co-op tournament. It definitely won't be the last. And I'm sure when the second co-op tournament rolls around, and however, maybe it's a year from now, maybe it's 8 months from now, who knows how long they're going to wait before they do the next one. People are going to come back and watch these VODs, and they're going to take notes on whatever team ends up winning. They're going to take notes on how they did it. And then that's going to kind of define the meta for co-op, and I love it as we find a lock bracer. So that when I popped into your chat the other day, it wasn't sarcastic.
Oh no! But I was gonna say, it was just pointed out, and I'm gonna go back to that. Super Luigi found Bane, Cerebruses, bad dogs, No more Bane for you, please. But I believe it was Neon Gray found the teleporter maze, which is also shuffled. And what that means is it's no longer over 2, up or down 2. It's anywhere at that point. And let me tell you, Sky 4 is probably one of the more terrifying places to try and get lost in.
So how do you approach Sky 4 with the teleporter maze on?
I close my eyes.
As we talk about strategies, you just close your eyes.
I close my eyes and I just go in a direction. And I hope that it goes in the right direction. If not, I'm lost in there for like a long period of time.
I've found what works for me is I go all the way over, and then right before I wrap around, I go up, and then I go all the way over, and then right before I wrap around, I go up, and then I go all the way over, and I go up. Just sort of like making like a little Tetris piece.
Fade Sword was picked up by Sledge in that marsh bottom floor where the incentive location is. That is the Bane Sword has been changed to the Fade Sword. It's been upgraded.
Ooh, that might be a while before Team Ordeals with it finds it, as they find another Quad X helmet, but a Fade Sword in the crown chest is huge, as they're going to also get the incentive location check right now. I don't see the red letters popping up on Super Luigi's side, so maybe the streams are a little balanced out now as Neon Gray finds Sarda. So we're going to get...
Sledge finds in the incentive, the defense sword has been turned into the Fire 1 sword. Great, we can cast level 1 fire at enemies.
It's like the confuse spell, right?
Yeah, except for
but we find
ooh, Zap. Hello.
A different kind of cattle prod. I think that was a zap stick to match that stun, so it's a +1 zap stick.
I mean, the zap stick.
Is that a zap hammer? It's hard to tell with the icons there, but it might be a zap hammer.
Yeah, I think that is the Thor's hammer that has been changed to a zap hammer.
That's awesome. That to me that invokes a lot of Super Mario.
So that's an incentive item that is loose. If they're keeping track, there's about... Or no, it wasn't an incentive. I'm sorry. That was from Sarda.
All right, so Sarda gives a Zap Hammer.
Or
There's that access to time magic we were looking for. Unfortunately, we won't be able to cast it ourselves, but...
wait, I think there's actually 2 zaps. Because I thought Neon Gray found it in a chest, didn't he? Or didn't they?
No, they both found Sarda. So I missed what Sledge found in the incentive.
It was the white shirt that was changed to the fire shirt.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not the white shirt. The
defense
sword. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So defense sword in Marshlock incentive and Sarda with the Zap Hammer. All right. So what do we got? We got Split Punch checking the Agama floor. This is a huge chest density location for the volcano. It's easy enough to navigate around, but we find the Seafood Party Pack with Sleep Lobsters and Dazzle Lobsters. Yikes. Yeah, time to bust out those nukes and start microwaving that seafood. Time to stink up that Agama floor. See that guy microwaving fish.
Super Luigi's diving down. He's going to get his Fade sword here. He makes sure to talk to Cope.
It's solid strats.
It really is. You know, he's a lonely guy just hanging out over by that entrance into the seafloor.
Yeah, Cope's a good guy. All right, so Neon Gray gets through the where's Neon Gray? Because it's Split Punch that's on the Agama floor. Neon Gray has found a cluster of sea floors together, and I believe that's one of the Cardi entrances. Fade Sword putting in work, so it looks like Sledge might be going 3-man strats there with the thief just taking a nap.
Yeah.
Only level 9 though. Level 9 at 30 minutes doesn't feel too good. As we get an X for a stick.
Well, see, that's one of the hardest things is trying to make sure to take the fights. But when you have level 3 nuke and you find a Fade magic weapon, use it. Take those.
There's not. And I think that's something they might look back on with this seed. Regardless, I know when win or lose, I typically watch my VODs back, just to sort of get the bigger picture of what happened and what other people were doing. And I think looking back, this might be something that they adjust for, like maybe taking more fights. As we find a loose herb in the Agama floor, so that's a nice find. We still haven't found the Elfland Castle, but we do know where the elf nurse is in Melmond, so we can at least get that herb translated. I mean, turned in. Herb doesn't need to be translated. So when we do find it, whoever turns in, I would actually.
Lit 3 Wizzogres. I'm sorry to go over you right there. Split
no,
Punches in a pickle. Yeah. But a good old nuke solved many issues, and now he's no longer in that pickle.
I like pickles. Sledge digs out the teleporter maze, and he's going to make a go of exploring.
All right, now so
Neon Gray.
The one thing, I'm sorry, I'm doing it again, but I wanted to kind of go over something here with Neon Gray. When you do the herb talk to the elf doctor, only one person actually gets credit for it. If the other runner has to also do it to get the herb turn in.
Yep. So the slab translation will transfer, but the herb turn-in will not, as Sledge is writing down how he found the teleporter. You can always tell you find it because it's always in a weird position. It's like up against a wall or just in the middle off center. Clearly not an intentional placement. All right. So Neon Gray with the herb turn-in. Where are they going now? As Split Punch digs out Earth 2. Earth trap tiles are giants. That's not super great. You kind of want to find a good trap tile here. You want to find something where if you need to, you can come back and do a little grind if Temple of Fiends proves to be too challenging. Neon, where are you going? You need to talk to the princess. Oh, Neon didn't. Neon hasn't killed Garland. Neon, I think, is going to go kill Garland,
And
rescue the princess, and then they're going to double back.
And that's another one. And that's another one, just like the herb. When you talk to the elf doctor, if you haven't killed Garland, the elf or the princess doesn't show up for you until you've killed Garland.
But they're checking their notes. They know that there's a ribbon here. They're gonna go up there and pick it up. As we got a little bit of the ROM hack, Neon Gray finds a cute hat. That's their second cute hat. Cute hat is, of course, just the ribbon, which provides resistance to all 8 of the elemental.
You know, it brings up a good point. ETAP brings up in chat. I see Lyra in there too. You know, because of Unsafe Pirates is in there. If you run into those pirates in Zozo Melman, you could run into a very dangerous pirates there. And apparently Sledge over there is trying to bypass the Mirage floors. It looked like there. It got a little blurry there, or he was just moving so fast.
So, Split Punch digs down through Cardiograssi and finds Elfland Castle and finds Dr. Un hanging out. But Split Punch hasn't done the herb turn-in.
Bahamut. We found Bahamut, and he's resting in his place, his original location. Sledge has promoted.
And we got a little high five here from Ordeals with it. Neon Gray gets a rod for the second time for their team, but they also get the key, and Super Luigi finds X-Cal and a nuke shirt.
That's a black shirt. That is a black shirt that has been turned into a nuke shirt. So we have a Fade sword and a nuke shirt. Yes, please, may we have more delicious spells on top of a Quad X helms. We got 2 of those and a lock bracelet.
Like I said, I think I'm going to develop a reputation for getting to roll seeds for other racers. This is my way of giving back to the community after developing some pretty challenging challenge seeds. I give you this, runners. Have fun.
Note to self, I don't want you rolling any of my seeds against Shadow Walker and Demon Frog, the Zodiac Braves, because I do not need Shadow Walker having any sort of easy seed against me.
We have yet to see what Temple of Fiends holds, so all this could come to a grinding halt in the Temple of Fiends Revisited. We've seen races win it, like obviously won and lost there, where runners make it to Temple of Fiends a good 20-30 minutes ahead of their opponent and slam against the wall, wipe after wipe after wipe, and then the other team comes in after them and clears Temple Fiends on their first try. I don't want to say anything too much, but if you haven't seen the race from Sunday, you should definitely go check that out. The upstarts, Dangwoo and Gregory Puff, gave us quite a show against the Zodiac Braves, which is Demon Frog and Shadow Walker. So if you haven't checked that race out, you should definitely go check that out. Their game 2 is coming up. So as we're gonna get some fresh information here from Luigi. I missed what the Elf Prince gave us, but we're gonna check out this armory. You got a pro ring here, Sun Sword, and a pro cape.
I don't remember. Was Super Luigi the one that talked to the Elf Doctor? Because I only seen him talk to Dr. Un, and he got the translation done.
So we got the loose ruby from Sledge.
Heal 3 staff too? Oh my.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that these runners had all the tools they needed to finish this seed.
Somebody said there was a fast shirt too. Wait, what?
That would. So if that was that what the Elf Prince gave was the fast shirt? Because that would be the white shirt incentivized on the Elf Prince, which would make sense.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's right. Because
or was it in Lupa Lupa Land?
Because the fire sword was the defense sword, and that keeps tossing me off. So yeah, that could have been the fast shirt, which is the white shirt, because it was incentivized.
Super Luigi Neon Gray, they're just they're one and the same right now. Their thoughts are commingled. As Sledge finds this is just a loose eye on the sky floor, but still a good fight to have with a Fade Sword. And checking chess, Neon Gray, they're gonna find out they're gonna find their Fade Sword, their unfortunate Fire Sword. Fire Sword's still not a bad sword to swing with it being the defense sword. If you don't have much, it's still something you can throw onto a red wizard to get a little extra damage.
I gotta admit, Neon Gray might kick a little bit, just because, or kick himself a little bit, just because of the fact that they didn't clear Marsh Bottom, and that Fade Sword they would have had it 10, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know that feeling, and I'm curious to see if there's a tilt here. See if if we can see it in their running, if anything changes. Because I know in the spring tournament, I've had similar things happen to me where I make it through a whole seed, and then I go back to a chest that I orphaned in Matoya's, and lo and behold, there's the Masa. And it's just like, man, my opponents could have had this for an hour.
In the bottom,
and they could be clearing the game.
In the bottom right, Split Punch is checking the incentivized location. I say non-incentivized because it's not actually incentivized in this flag set. But he's on the carry floor. He might do carry. I mean, if we know anything about Split Punch, he goes for this. And unfortunately, on the bottom left, Sledge faces the Seafood Party Platter and wipes.
And that Seafood Party Platter is going to come back and he lost his promotion.
Oh no.
So he hadn't saved it in a while. That's a big hit for Team Supersledge. That's a huge time loss for Sledge in particular. That doesn't feel good. So Supersledge, they have the opportunity to win this game and to move on to the round of 8, but they're keeping the door open for Team Ordeals with it to come back through and force a game 3.
Because I've seen Excalibur. They did find Excalibur. We have a Kraken sighting too, so we have 3 of the 4 fiends have already been spotted. We're just missing the loot and Tiamat at this point for a quote-unquote
we found Tiamat.
Well, yeah.
We found Tiamat.
Oh,
Tiamat was early in one of the first 10 locations. I believe it might have been the volcano or Northwest Castle Dwarf Cave, something like that. Very early continent find. So we are in go mode, or no mode rather. We know where all the fiends are. We have the key. Well, we're still missing the loot, so I'll walk that back a little bit. The only key items we need for this, dependent on the seed, is the key and the loot, and the fiends being killed. So if a fiend is hiding behind the rod or the cube, we'll need that item.
Split Punch has pulled carry 2. I've seen a slow 2 go out. It missed. If that hits, it's great. Carry usually rolls high amount of hits. He is hitting hard at this point. He's done about 500-600 damage, but unfortunately Carry swings back, and
Kraken has fast.
Oh, we have Kraken on the left too. I mean, this is insane. Carry's going crazy.
And Super Luigi finds a loose bottle.
Carry's down.
The armory.
Carry's down is on the Ordeals with it. They have 2 orbs down. Brackstrats are trying to come out on the left-hand side for Sledge. He's trying to get their first or second orb lit also. Missing. He's
that Fade Sword is going to put in some work. Lightning 2 comes out.
A free turn, essentially. We call it 2 a free turn because, well, let's face it, we don't want to get hugged by Kraken.
Yeah, anything where he's not meleeing or dropping a non-elemental skill, you like to see.
In the top right, we see a vampire shape speed bump has gone away. New comes out. Kraken is killed. That is their second orb for Supersledge. They have tied it back up.
All right, and Super Luigi is clearing out the armory. He's already found a loose bottle. Supersledge, for a pair of new ducklings, they're here to shock the world. Neon Gray, they find Dwarf Cave.
Dwarf Cave is good.
That's always a lovely find.
We have Adamant.
So we're hoping for Lazy Dwarf and a loose crown.
We know where Northwest is. They can move on with that.
And they have the key, so hopefully it's Lazy Dwarfs. You want to see Lazy Dwarfs here. Masa. Wow. So
That reminds me of my race. Adamant
Uh,
turns into Masa.
Neon Gray finds that Smithy McBeard's Swordsmith, whatever the name is for that NPC, has upped his blacksmithing game, and he's not making X-Cows anymore. He's making Masas.
Now, one thing I do want to point out as Neon Gray is traveling through and going to take a look into the locked chest room here. Loose ship. Okay, that's not very great, but
Big find.
that kind of tells us about loose items there. Is on Sledge's part, he defeated Kraken, and instead of healing, immediately ran to the orb to light it. That is a very dangerous play because you can still get into combat there, and if he runs into the seafood party platter, he could have wiped there and had to take on Kraken all over again because he didn't heal. That's one thing. If you ever get into this, make sure to heal up before you go to light that orb because you can run into combat.
And if you don't have the heals, stay put for 5 to 15 seconds, and your opponent, your teammate will get that lit water orb.
No.
And then you can die.
No, Caleb, because you have to walk over that spot.
Oh, right.
To light it.
Yep. Thank you for. Yep. You do have to step on the plinth there and light that orb. Super Luigi finds the dragon armor. That's a lovely find.
And I know that because I tried that once. I sat there. I was like, oh, that's right. I have to walk over this thing to actually light it. It looks like Supersledge team is teaming up, and they are in the greater than less than room. I think this leads to Bahamut's, and they're going to class promote.
Mm-hmm. I believe you are correct.
Oh no, the Cerebruses are just going. Oh no, Sledge
We've got a ribbon on White Mage. Just Whim. We got
Whim.
Yeah, Whim, Blim. We got Dang Will and Caleb and RM. A little shout out to Randomania up on Super Luigi's side. And here we go. We got big chest density here on both the Super Sledge's side. We got the Aegis Shield. We got Sky 3. Sky 3 is one of my favorite floors to find in this flag set. As we get a third ribbon, loose crystal. If you're Team Super Sledge, you have the gear. They're kind of holding hands here. Somebody needs to start getting some levels because Sledge doesn't really have them. And I haven't seen what Super Luigi's rocking. I don't like the fact that he's on 2-man strats. These flags aren't really viable for 2-man strats with the Temple of Fiends the way it can be. But he gets these 22. That's pretty good.
Sledge is going back for promotion now. I don't know what Super Luigi's going for that caused him to go up here. He's about to find the crystal again. Oh, okay, the ribbon was up there.
Yep, and he will likely get his promotion as well. Promotion was right beneath this floor.
I completely missed the ribbon being there because I seen Sledge pick up the crystal again. The cool little water sprites over on Split Punches, that actually looks pretty cool, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Their Ordeals with it is using some fun sprites on some of their enemies. Pretty neat looking. Kustewin in chat pointing out this match can go either way. Absolutely. Any of these matches can. We've seen upsets, surprises all over the place in the early rounds of this spring tournament. I'm not going to tell you any big spoilers, but I will encourage you to go watch the VODs if you can find them. There's quite a few doozies out there. All right. So we got some just kind of overlap here. Sledge picking up the ruby. Neon Gray is going to get their bottle here with this check. And they're still looking for Bahamut. But they are just a few floors away. So all of that, that armory floor, all of the subsequent floors, that Sky 3, that Bahamut, were all buried in North Marsh Split, and I don't know what was in South Marsh Split. So the runners might be coming out, dropping a house, running back in, and doing it all over again. Which the Marsh Split was under the right side of the C Split, and the left side being Northwest Castle. They haven't found their crown yet, though. So, whew. So much to keep track of. Thank you, Hanger Canuck, for doing all the tracking. Thank you, Dangwoo, for doing the restream.
You know, I'm but a man in this, and you are the one keeping it all together. You are the glue of this whole production.
I'm doing my best, man. I'm doing my best. I feel like I've missed a lot. We've got all we're looking for is the loot. So that loot might be behind the rod block, which we now have the rod block. Split Punch is going to go find that out. Could be behind the Q block, which we know where the Q block is. That was found early, but no cube yet. As looks like Sledge is taking some notes, and I would imagine their party build out right now. Super Luigi's probably going to be the killers, and Sledge is going to be the explorers, which is a strategy we've seen some teams do. One team focuses more on levels and grinding and picking up all the good equipment, and the other team focused on getting information for them, feeding it to them. Split heading down to get the Masa, which was the Masa behind the rod block. Is that what we found? Yes.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so the Q block could hold the loot. The loot could be loose. We don't have the chime yet, so that could be in the loot. Could be in the Mirage entrance, which we can't get into without the chime. It could be behind the TNT. There's a lot on the table here. Split Punch picks up the crown. I'd imagine he's going to tell Neon Gray they're going to make their dive back into the waterfall after this to see what Astos is holding on to.
Nice chunk of change there. A little, a little late for it, but 50,000's nice. We get there's our loot. It was the bottle turn-in. The Supersledge are in go mode. They just don't have Masa.
Well, yep. They just gotta go find.
But they have Vorpal. They have Vorpal, so technically they don't need Masa. I mean, Masa's great. It does very well in this flag set. 200% is a very good threshold for Masa. Vorpal can be very good too. If they get high enough levels, you could just use Vorpal. So they could just grind and use the Vorpal at this point.
Yep, especially with access to fast and plenty of tempers. Super Luigi's getting the bad news that his party build out isn't ideal for the way the magic fell in this seed. He's not going to have access to life. He's not going to have access to Cure 4. He's going to have to brute force his way through the Temple of Fiends when he gets in there. Which is possible. It's just not ideal. As Supersledge, it looks like, is taking a pause. Might be kind of going through some notes, figuring out where some stuff was to give Super Luigi the information. Or it's just a stream hiccup. Sledge is showing us the PowerPoint presentation of his run. We'll find out what
cursor.
I
see mouse.
The mouse cursor's been the boss the whole time.
I just noticed it. Now I can't unnotice it.
Yeah,
I'm like a cat right now. I'm like a cat right now. I just want to kind of just swipe it off the screen.
I was watching a race. I believe it was my co-op partner Hyro Fellows had their mouse cursor. I'm gonna walk that back. I don't know if it was Hyro Fellows, but I was watching a race where the mouse cursor was in the center position, directly over the player sprite the entire race. So it just looked like they were just dragging them through the game. But Split Punch turns it in his bottle. They get their loot. They are now in go mode. Everybody just needs to start going and kill some fiends. So I like that Team Supersledge is promoted before the Warmech fight. That way those knights and ninjas will get the levels to give them spell charges. I've seen it happen in practices where, unfortunately, you have to kill Warmech before you can promote, and then you don't have access to that huge chunk of experience. It's going to boost your knight up to give you a bunch of spell charges, and that feels bad. But the elf prince had the chime, so not really necessary, but I bet they were hoping for the Masa there.
This race just got intense. This is going to be the biggest Twitch rivalry I've ever seen. We have one team who's got the Vorpals. We've got the other team that's got Masa. It is about to be an all-out brawl to see who will win, Team Masa or Team Vorpal.
Well, I think what it comes down to is it's going to be not necessarily which sword gets it done. I think it's going to all be predicated on the stats that the fiends and Temple of Fiends roll.
How dare you, Caleb?
I'm not gonna take your bait, dang. If we find high absorb, the Vorpal will have the advantage. If we find high evasion, the team that has fewer fast charges will have a disadvantage. I think that's all it's really going to come down to. At the end of the day, we have access to fast with everyone, with it being in level 4, I believe. We have access to temper for everyone, with it being in level 3. I will be curious as to see how many, if they just rely on the nuke and fade shirts and take those nuke spell charges and hold them for tempers. So.
And our tracker, the Canuck, brings up a good point. It doesn't matter what swords you bring. How nice will Kraken be on our fighter or on our teams?
Yeah. Kraken can punch for 1600 damage. We've seen it. So
on a level 48 knight yesterday, Shadow Walker's level 48 knight took a Kraken hit for over 1200 damage.
And there's the fast shirt. So Super Luigi gets the fast shirt from the Lupa Lupas. That's where that was hiding. We missed that earlier on the stream that got that first, if that was Supersledge or Ordeals with it that did the slab turn in. But now Super Luigi is geared up. Split Punch, I think, is still looking for Kraken. As Supersledge, all they need is to kill Tia. And they're ready to dive into the ice cave.
We have seen a fire orb kill, or we didn't see a fire orb kill, but we're going to see Sledge kind of catch up at this point.
Yep. So we missed it. We missed it happen live. The Hangry Canuck has access to a little bit faster information with the tracking technology he's using. So he knew about the fire orb being lit, which is why you see it lit, and we're now seeing Sledge do the dirty work and carry the Merilith at the bottom of the volcano. And he's just gonna microwave her and stab her with an Excal for unknown damage.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Neon Gray, they find the crystal. Believe that's their first time finding it, and they find it's that their third cute hat. As Split Punch is gonna start giving Kraken the business.
Oh, fast turn 1. Oh boy.
We've seen that with Sledge when he was dealing with Kraken, and the Brax aren't doing it.
Hopefully, this Kraken lives up to what happened with Sledge and goes all caster heavy. That could, I mean, we only got one Invis 2 out right now. Brack comes out ineffective. Heal 3. I mean, we got to try at least hope that we survive this massive hit that's about to happen. Highly evasive Kraken too. The swing. Oh, the knight. See you later.
That's not bad. That's not the worst thing that could happen here. Because this is sparing levels from the fighter for because they just found Bahamut. Split's going to have that information, so he'll be able to go promote after this fight and then go to Tia, get Warmech, and get the levels on the knight to get him spell charges. So this is a blessing in disguise right now if he can pull through
Stunned
this.
Red Mage on Split Punches. Brack misses again. This is the third Invis 2. these casters are still probably in melee or in attack range at this point. Fire 2, one of them's paralyzed. Split Punch has got one. No, he has only one red mage left that has Brack.
And he's abandoned the Brack stretch. He's going Nuke and Quad X.
You got to at this point. You got to hope that you get a good turn order. Sleep 2.
That's a free round. Oh, not with the bad Quad X turn order.
Oh no, the red mage has been in darkness. I hope he doesn't nuke his partner, but he nukes the Kraken, and that is their third orb for Ordeals with it. They have tied it up.
And I give the advantage here to Split Punch over Super Luigi with having that white mage. Because that white mage, you saw it, picked up the dead fighter with life, immediately healed him all the way up with Cure 4. Super Luigi's not going to be able to do that. And Super Luigi's still diving. So I think this was where Tia was. I don't really remember the floor progression through to get to Tia. All right. I believe this is the way to Tia through the sea floors here. This looks familiar, and I have noticed it's that the long tunnel to Bahamut, more often than not, I found it right above the tunnel to or the Bridge of Destiny. And I wonder if that's intentional. The two longest hallways in the game being right on top of each other, entrance and floor shuffle feels a little... Okay, so we got Supersledge on the Bridge of Destiny. Awesome. So the PowerPoint slide catches up and we're able to see airs, but we got a glimpse of the Bridge of Destiny there. So no need to get those blessed RNGs in chat. Warmech is required in this flag set. And I believe in the flag sets throughout the entire tournament. So every round we will see Warmech. We will see our robot friend. As it looks like Split is stocking up on magic. I don't like the stocking up on magic right away. I would have liked to have promoted first. That way we don't have to double back here to pick up spells that might be locked behind promotion for the Red Wizard in the night. But
yeah, especially for the Red Wizard, that could definitely cause some issues a lot more. So gold bracelets for 51,000, or was that a sell?
That was a buy. He's selling stuff to make room so he can buy a handful of them. Right, that's a really cool 3-pallet swap on
Warmech on
Warmech.
Super Luigi's side, and I believe Sledge is right behind him, so they're both going after the robot.
I like that. I
Fast
really like that
Viz
pallet swap.
2s, the Knights are doing their job, helping out. Warmech swings for 420. That Invis just saved that Knight's life, more than likely.
Yes, Crabcakes asking, was level 1 Knight learnable? Absolutely. So after Super Luigi, if he gets through Warmech here and if he gets through T, I'm going to pop down and see if he wants to come up for an interview. I want to see how he's feeling about how prepared he is for Topher.
Sounds good, sounds good. We got Fade Sticks, we got, I think, a Nuke shirt, we got the Vorpal hitting for 6 hits. It looks like not a very evasive Warmech. This is good news. I don't see many Tempers coming out. I don't think we found Temper, or they're just not casting it.
Temper was level 3.
Okay, so
Level 3.
they're not casting it, but I mean, they're doing work, but they're playing with fire at this point. You're letting Warmech get spells in. It could cause disaster when everybody is in nuke range. A high-level nuke wipes out that second Knight, but Fade works, and he's through. He gets all this experience. He's in the mid-20s now.
Yeah, no, those are Topher levels. If you're me, if I'm over level 20, I feel comfortable diving Temple of Fiends.
Sledge is grinding. I don't think Sledge is ready for Warmech with a 3-man party, but I mean, anything's possible. You do have a White Wizard. Use the Thief as a meat shield, you know, or well, a sacrifice to the for the greater
Super
good.
Luigi giving us our first look at Tia 1, and we're gonna go full offense, nukes and fades on the shirts. Okay, Temper was level 2, Fast was level 3, so I was just one spell level off. All right. We're going to go, it looks like a mix of defense and a little bit of a preparatory offense with the fast. All right. Viz 2s are good. Sleep is basically a wash as Dang will just wake back up on his turn.
That's one good thing about sleep. When the enemies use it, you wake up the next turn, essentially. Tempers come out.
Yep. Caleb and Randomania are tempering up Dang. And there it is. 8 hits, 511. That's what Vorpal can do. When it gets more than one crit, it can be dangerous. Dangerous.
Dangerous. I like what you did there. Tiamat hits back for triple digits on the night, but he gets terminated. Sledge is in Temple of Fiends Revisited Go mode. They can now go in there and try to take on the ultimate being, Chaos, 2,000 years in the past.
All right, I'm going to pop down there and see how they're doing. Super Luigi, we got you top left of our screen preparing for your Temple of Fiends dive. You've got the double knight, double red wizards. How do you feel about your Temple of Fiends dive right now?
I think I'm prepared.
How's it feel with the white magic being locked out of the grasp of those red wizards? Is that impacting your strategy here at all?
That sucks, but life is for chumps.
Those YOLO swag strats, I can respect it. Well, thank you. You're walking in. I'm gonna drag you back down there. Best of luck to you, Super Luigi. We'll see you in the post.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm excited. I'm excited for Temple of Fiends Revisited at an hour 5. So it's the 65-minute mark. Super Luigi is into the Temple of Fiends Revisited, as Sledge is doing some back-end preparation. Did Sledge take out Wormack, or did he just walk out of there? All right, so we're checking the validation, Jess. We got a little bit of money, and we're through. Okay, so let's see what Temple of Fiends Revisited has got for us. As Split Punch is taking on his robot friend. He's getting the Invis 2s up. Zombie D's look like the red D's, but Nuke Shirt's going to come out and show us that Zombie D's rolled over 400 health. That doesn't feel good. And Neon Gray, they're taking a grind on the red D and the Waterfall, which isn't bad. We got heal 3s coming out in the Wormack fight. Sledge is buying heal pots. And Super Luigi is taking fights as he does. Oh no, he's running. Okay. Looked like he did one of my favorite things to do, which is run, weapon damage with the spell magic. Okay, so he's not in the Waterfall. He is in the Split Punch is in the Trap Chest in Marshlock.
Come back in time for a Wormack kill by Split Punch? Give me those levels. Yeah.
And Sledge is walking in right behind. I missed it if he came in off a hard reset. I'll give a little bit of strategy here. This is something that Hyro and I do. He usually comes in off a hard reset. I come in wherever I'm at. That way we have a little bit of different look on what Temple of Fiends looks like. If it's nice on a hard reset and I take a nasty wipe, that's what I'll do. I'll do the hard reset and come in behind him on the hard, and so I'll get the same things that he experienced. So I'll get that direct information. There's a little inside information from Team Rofate's Caleb. Use it if you want it.
Interesting. Is there anything else you'd like to tell? As Sledge over there in the bottom left, actually Split Punch on the bottom right, trying to take on Tiamat. The dragon's there. We missed a little bit of it, but Masa's doing work. 7 hits, 371. Quad race. All right, yes, please give me that Quad X. The giant
race from the time stream. As big hit, was that 4 hits, 1,030, or was that 4 hits, 103 on? Okay, that had to have been 103 on Lich 2 there. Super Luigi's onto the fire floor.
Okay, Lich 2 down. Super Luigi's now on the fire floor. Sledge is killing the Gurmedusas for those extra levels. They are a good source of experience. Didn't really heal on Super Luigi's side, going right in.
Yep, and Will Cleosis in chat requesting kindly, please give the Vorpal to Will.
Bane came out from carry 2. Didn't hit anybody. Okay, good start. We didn't get into 3/256 chance of it burping through. Xcal less than 100. Fade. Carry's resisting these spells, but rolls like original health.
Yep, so these bosses, you can see it kind of in the middle there. Bosses clamped 100 to 200%. So these bosses will not have fewer HP than they do in the vanilla game. So they're going to feel like bosses. And they might feel like double bosses. So our Chaos could have 4,000 HP, which doesn't feel good. As the Gurmedusas start giving Sledge the business, and they punch out Thief.
Look away, Will. Look away.
It's okay if you want to alt tab, Will. We'll let you know when the hurting is stopped.
Although Super Luigi might have issues with this seafood party platter. Okay, Nuke is going to save us. We're good. Or maybe not, because the sea snakes do not want to die.
Question in chat, does Luigi have 4 ribbons? I don't believe so. I believe he just has the 3, as treasures are not randomized in this one, and he would be locked to just the 3. Now, in the round of 8 flags, it's very possible to end up with 4 ribbons, as treasures are randomized. That could also mean that there's no Vorpal, there's no Xcal, there's no Dragon Armor. You never know what you're going to get, as Split Punch is taking the grind on the first floor Temple of Fiends Revisited. How do you feel about grinding a Topher, Dang?
It's not as good as it could be, just for the pure fact of the encounters. Sledge is taking on Lich 2. We saw a couple nukes. Katana did a little bit of work. Xcal's doing work, and there goes Lich 2, so he's on the fire floor. The problem with doing this kind of grinding is, with the 0.5 encounter rate, you just don't run into fights quickly enough. That's the reason why getting those early levels is so important while you're traveling around. And Kraken 2 has been pulled by Super Luigi.
Xcal comes out, 3 hit, 72 damage. Oh, big punch from Kraken 2. Dang's got the health to survive it. Invis 2's coming out. Vorpal gets in and misses. So a little bit of evade there. Unless we got lock on those. Unless we have lock there on the reds, I don't think. I think we saw a lock gauntlet.
We did. There was a lock gauntlet on Neon Gray's side. They have it. Super Luigi's side, he needs to get that Invis 2 up to help to minimize the damage. There's some Vorpal hits going off.
Yeah, this Kraken, high absorb, high evade, punches out Dang.
Well, by me.
Sorry, man. You're doing a lot of work tonight. Just take a nap, man. You'll be all right. Ooh, punches out me. All right, well, Will, Randomania, it's up to you guys.
It's a commentary curse right there.
Yeah. All right. What do we got here? We got Sledge prepping. See, Sledge has got a little bit of advantage here. He doesn't have the levels that Super Luigi has, but he does have access to life magic. And Crabcake's asking in chat, did we see life 2? Yes, we did. It was locked to white, I believe, at level 4.
Supersledge is in trouble at this point. I mean, you can try to make it through, but Tiamat, I mean, you might as well try and do an information dive for Sledge. I think Sledge has become your killer at this point. Super Luigi has to be the information. Get through this and give the information to Sledge so he can be the killer. You know, make it through Tiamat. You gotta kill Kraken here. 3 hits, 3 damage. Ooh, that's a good miss. Maybe we get a lucky crit. Well, there's a lucky crit.
Oh, Luigi takes the wipe. Feels bad.
Carry with nuke. Sledge got nuked. We didn't see that on Super Luigi's side. He took too long getting through. That was the one difference between Sledge and Super Luigi's. Super Luigi made it through quickly and didn't see that nuke. Sledge found the nuke. Oh, and a nuclear comes out. Carry 2 is bringing that heat.
Carry 2, radioactive. as Neon Gray and Split Punch, they begin their dive. It looks like they are finished with their grinds here in Temple of Fiends Revisited, and they are making their way through.
They're going through. I think they've felt that they need to quit messing around. Encounters, you might as well just take fights as you go. I know it's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
you just kind of got to do it that way. And Sledge actually made it through, so he's able to revive his entire party.
Yep, they're making their way downtown. They're walking fast. This is fast. I couldn't finish with a Vanessa Carlton reference. I'm sorry, dang.
It's okay.
I'm trying to channel my inner will and fold song lyrics into my commentary. Unfortunately, I don't have the Metallica beats. I do have the Vanessa Carlton. As we got, looks like Split Punch and Super Luigi kind of holding hands. Super Luigi got held up by the Metal Slimes. Sledge is showing us the PowerPoint presentation of his fight with Kraken 2. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about that. Overseas internet being what it is, but we'll definitely keep up with it as much as we can. As Neon Gray completely disrespects Lich 2. Are we gonna get Quake Stretch?
Sledge, poor thief. His video came back just in time to witness 1,000 hit on his poor thief. Thank you.
Thief might be elusive. He's not getting around that. Neon Gray through the Lich 2 fight onto the fire floor, taking stock of their inventory.
What's up?
Feeding the heal potions to Thief and Red.
High five.
And Super Luigi
He'll be
is
back.
onto the fire floor. Split Punch dealing
He'll be
with
back.
Lich 2. With the
Watch your
Masa, 5
movie.
hits, 308. Nuke comes out. Roasted.
Yeah?
358. That Pop-Tart is burnt coming out the toaster. Lich is down. All right, we got action on Neon Gray and Split Punch dealing with Agamas. Super Luigi dealing with a pack of golems. Sledge down there is Invis too easy to dodge. All right, let's see. And I would imagine that's a wipe, as we immediately see the next slide in Sledge's presentation is Corneria Town. That feels bad. So this is now 2 wipes with Super Sledge. And do you feel behind now with both party members wiping, or do you still think you have a shot at it because you know you have the information on how scary Carrie is? What do you think, Dang?
I would feel kind of behind, but at the same time, based on what I've seen, I mean, I would think that they're running into the same problem. Because both runners ran into the same problem. Kraken was, hit hard, hit fast, hit right away. Carrie was kind of the difference of sorts. As Split Punch makes it through, I don't think we see Nuke. So if you take too long, you run into Carrie.
There it is.
Second turn, Neon Gray gets nuked. I mean, that we know a nuclear is coming out next, but he gets to terminate. So as I said, if you get through that 600, 700 HP, because original game 700 HP, that's about what Carrie has right now. If you kill Carrie quickly enough, you don't take on that nuke. You don't take on that nuclear right after.
The unfortunate thing for Neon Gray, though, they are in the same predicament as Super Luigi. No white magic on their team. So as their light warriors go down, they stay down. And it's only going to make Kraken that much more difficult as Super Luigi gets his second chance at carry. Let's see if he gets through it just as quickly as he did the first time, or if he's going to find the nuke. As Split Punch comes down to Kraken 2, they're going to get information. Super Luigi's through. No nuke from Carry 2. And he's got his full party of light warriors headed onto the water floor. And Split Punch going to get his first look at Kraken 2. And let's see if Kraken 2 has the same sort of plan for Split Punch's party. Got a little bit rearranging. Got some respect being paid. Good levels. 29, 29, 27, 29 on Split Punch's side. And I would imagine when Sledge's screens catches up, he's going to be on the earth floor or fighting Lich. And we've got runner synchronization here as Super Luigi, Neon Gray, and Split Punch are all on the water floor, all preparing to fight Kraken. Invis 2's come out.
The only downside on Split Punch is he only has one Invis 2 cast. That Kraken 2, if he heat seeks.
Well, so far so good. The red can go. The white needs to survive. White is your important.
Well,
good night, white.
The
I'm
commentary
sorry.
curse.
I should have been talking about it.
Yep. Commentary curse.
I mean, that's what Kraken does. Kraken uses strategy here.
Neon Gray.
Kraken knows when you target.
Neon Gray is fighting the same thing, but Neon Gray was able to take a hit because Neon Gray's Knight and had enough in his 2s, but you can't take more than 2. And well, I think we have a gatekeeper. Super Luigi up against Kraken 2 at this point. I think
Super Luigi's advantage here. 4 life 2 or Invis 2 casters. He loses Randomania. He does get the Invis 2 off, I believe, before Randomania died. So they all have 4 stacks of Invis 2 right now. So I think you Invis 2, and fast shirt up Dang or Will, and start crafting your killer here.
Now, one thing that was brought up here is Kraken 2 swings for 357 against that Knight with 4 Invis 2s. It was brought up, Fog would help. It's actually pretty useful in certain situations. And if your red mage can cast it, I would rather be casting that as Kraken swings again.
Yeah. Fog 2 raises the armor or the absorb of your light warriors. As Neon Gray, they're taking a grind on the earth floor using that left-hand staircase. And it looks like Super Luigi's finally evade capped. The only things getting through now are
you want me to
crits,
watch some shows with you in a little bit?
Wouldn't really help against.
Okay.
But we got heal 3s coming out. I would imagine we're going to stick to swinging in the Fade and Nuke shirt. Now, I don't know if he moved the Fade shirt off of Randomania. Another benefit for our runners here, it seems that Kraken is punch happy. So if you can get those evasion stacks up, and he's only going to be trying to punch you, you only have crits to worry about. You don't have to worry about him pulling nuclear out of his 10th tentacle.
Carry 2 on your bottom left being pulled by Sledge. Come here, buddy. Hey. They're going to be back.
And
they're going to be
Split
back.
Punch
I promise you. Okay?
Care-4ing, and so Team Ordeals with it is taking the grind. They don't like the looks that Kraken 2 is giving them. And there it is. Super Luigi gets through. No way to bring Randomania back up, but he does have the ability to now move that gear off, make his party a little bit tougher, get rid of that copper gauntlet on Will. The copper gauntlet, there you go. And yeah, this isn't looking too bad for Super Luigi.
Not bad at all. It really comes down to the next 2 fiends here because our Invis 2 casts are down to 2 each for our knights. You got to be able to save them. I mean, we do have 7 on that. Well,
No.
Commentary curse. Let me just keep it quiet.
We're gonna go ahead and call it this Game 2, Supersledge versus Ordeals with it. Subtitle: The Commentator Curse match, because we are not doing our runners any favors here. I did give them the Jet Seed of Jet Seeds with the item magic, the spells where they needed to be. The Temple of Fiends, though, proving what it's needed to do, but it's up to Dang and Will on Super Luigi's side to carry it. The Bash Brothers, will they do it? Big hit, 6 hits, 287, 4 hits, 71 damage. The X-Cal's not really doing it. I wonder if he'll switch the Vorpal to the second slot, get a little bit more, protect that fighter a little bit better. As looks like we're still grinding on Ordeals with it, or Split Punch making his dive. Looks like Split Punch is making his dive. As Sledge pulls Kraken 2, Tiamat 2's putting in the work, doing Lightning 2. That's fine. We don't mind seeing that. What are you doing, Zap Hammers? We're doing drink strats. Too late.
Not anymore.
Good night, Dang. We're going to man mode. We're going to man mode the rest of this for Super Luigi.
Oh, okay.
Times like this, you wish Tavern mode was on. Go turn one of those red mages into a white mage. Yeah, without the Vorpal on Will, that fight wasn't going to go that way. The X-Cal is nice, but the Absorb being what it is and the evasion being low, you really want the Vorpal just for the chance at those crits there.
Sledge is up, Unfortunately, not enough Invis 2s at the moment. That Knight is getting blasted. He's down to 128 health. It's going to be a tight one.
I want to remind our viewers and those of you watching the VOD later, we are now at the hour 24 mark, we'll say. Our runners entered Temple of Fiends nearly 20 minutes ago. Our first team, Supersledge, came in here. And I believe Neon Gray and Split Punch were in about 4 or 5 minutes later. And they're just throwing themselves against this Kraken 2, Tia 2 Wombo combo. And this is showing you what Temple of Fiends can do. This could just be something as simple as the team that gets the first good turn order, which you don't really want to see. You want to see it be preparation and planning that comes through and wins the day. But more often than not, it could just be you see a new strategy from the Fiends Revisited. As all of a sudden, Carrie doesn't really care that she has nuke anymore. She's just going to spend the fight punching. Seen it happen. And Sledge is through. Sledge with the best chance now at Tia 2, as Sledge is going to be able to life 2 up. Life 2 is level 6, crab cakes. So, to answer your question from earlier, I thought it was level 4, but that was Cure 4 that was locked.
As these runners are going through, I just want to point out, just to kind of go over with people, tomorrow we have another co-op action. This is going to be the round of 8. The Upstarts versus Zodiac Braves, and that is going to be at 10:30 Eastern Time tomorrow, right here on the Randomania family of networks. So come and root us on.
Yep, that is a game 2. We won't tell you who was game 1, who the game 1 victor was, as it just happened 2 days ago. I know people don't want to be spoiled, so
They'll be back.
if you want to find out who won that race and you don't feel like watching the VOD, I'll post a link for the Discord. You can hop in the Discord, go in the race spoilers chat, and I'm sure folks will be willing to answer that question for you. I'll be pulling for you, dang. I want to see the Upstarts. I mean, Shadow Walker is one of my teammates in the upcoming OnRack Summer Vacation, so it feels a little weird rooting against them, but I want to see the Upstarts go. I like the concept of the Upstarts making it to the Final Four. Fits your name and your team concept.
I agree. Carry 2 is down on the Split Punch's side for the Ordeals with it. Lich 2 is down. Ordeals is trying to have a say in this race. They are trying to bring this to a game 3. They're saying, we have Masa, we are going for it. We will take this to game 3.
And Sledge, we'll find out what's going on there sooner or later. As Super Luigi and Neon Gray, once again, holding hands in a carry fight. Split Punch trying to get their way to Kraken, but this encounter table isn't having it. I'm half expecting to see Sledge's internet catch up, and all of a sudden we're on chaos. All right. Got runner synchronization now on Team Ordeals with it, making their way through the water floor. It looks like they're on the same encounter tile. Neon Gray will get out of this fight and find those waters that they'll need to deal with. And Super Luigi terminates carry, but loses a light warrior in the process. Dang, you're sleeping on the job, man.
I know. I'm sorry.
And Will, wishes granted. You are now wielding your Vorpal. Let's see if he takes all the good gear off of Dang and yep, that's exactly what he's doing. All right. And we get caught up on Sledge's side, and we see that the white mage is gone, and it is just man mode with the fighter, but he goes down. So we're going to get our first look at Chaos with a single light warrior. Oh man, this could be the RNG loop fight you want to try to get here. All right, what are you? So, Dangwu, your Sledge. You have limited gear that you can bring in. You have the great gear, but you can only bring so much with you. How do you prep for this fight with Chaos with just a single fighter?
Oh my goodness. Neon Gray unfortunately gets the business bad turn order Kraken. Split Punch wipes, and Super Luigi's taking on Kraken. I mean, to do this, you have to go through all your items. I don't know what his situation is with his cast of Invis 2 at this point. I just don't see much of a chance just because you don't have enough Invis 2s. You can't
Yeah.
get in. You can't get into an RNG loop safely unless this chaos is just all lit 2s.
Yeah. All right. We'll try to calm this as best as we can with the Fire 2 comes out. So Chaos gives him the free round. And Super Luigi resets and comes back in. And Neon Gray is trying to deal with Kraken 2, and he's saying, no, you deal with it, or deals with it. And something big hit Sledge's fighter, because he's now only at 249 health. But Sledge has the information to give to... Oh, and that's a wipe. So Sledge immediately back into the Temple of Fiends Revisited. Unfortunately, we didn't see how the wipe happened, but we know it did. As Neon Gray with a Fighter Red Wizard combo, or Knight Red Wizard combo, runs into the Vamp Pack on the Sky Floor, getting ready to pull Tia. I believe this is their first look at Tiamat 2.
I'm Team Jake, okay? You leave me alone, you Team Edward fans.
And I think at the same time somebody was fighting off wolves, so headcanon confirmed.
See? Perfect.
Those 4 worms are just gonna make them are just gonna make Neon Gray burn more heal pots before they can pull Tia 2.
And that is probably the most frustrating thing when you're in Temple of Fiends Revisited, is when you run into those worms, you run into those Twilight the Vampire groupings of the vampires and the wizard vampires, because they just eat up and they hit so hard generally that they just eat up your health potions so quickly.
All right, we got Luigi and Split getting ready to pull Lich 2. Sledge making his way to the earth floor. Here we go. Tia 2 time. Fast and fight. Going all offense with the Masa. 6 hits, 244. Kind of like this. I'd start throwing some tempers. Now you're getting within the nuke ranges. Start dropping some heals. There's a big hit. 6 hits, 841. Flipped it. Okay. Swing from the Vorpal, 3 hits, 160. Not bad with no buffs on that. 535 comes in. So this is all melee. Tia 2 turn order terminated. Neon with the 2-man strats gonna get their first look at Chaos. 14 Ordeals with it, as Super Luigi is taking on Kraken 2, and Sledge is buffing, I think, before Lich or healing up afterwards. All right, Neon Gray doing their best to keep hope alive for Team Ordeals with it.
We're gonna be able to see what Chaos has and what caused Sledge to wipe. I'm assuming attacks at this point, just because of how quick it was, how quick of a reset. I'm assuming Chaos is bringing the pain, using those claws.
Yeah, I think the only thing we saw Chaos 2 have for sure was Fire 2 on the first round. But Damage Poison comes out. Not too scary when you've got a pair of ribbons. Interesting that Split Punch has not promoted at all. Kyodition and chat pointing that out. Everyone else is promoted. Only Split Punch hasn't. Ooh. So 8 hits, 335. So we're already breaking through.
There's only 3 hits? Nope, we're at 5 hits. Okay, so we're doing really well. I mean, unless Chaos is bringing in some sort of something dangerous, I mean, this is looking pretty decent if Chaos doesn't start swinging at this point. And we could be seeing a game 3 here. Ordeals with it is looking strong now that they've gotten through the gatekeeper that was Kraken 2.
I was going to say, I want to see some heal 3 sticks come out, and that's exactly what Neon Gray did. It's a veteran move. You want to keep those light warriors up around 400 health just in case Chaos pulls out a nuke from his back pocket. 9 hits, 996.
Okay, this is good. 953. Wow, this Chaos rolled big health.
3 hits, 147. Fire 3 comes out. Is that going to be enough? No. 10 hits, 1664. GG. Neon Gray split punch, forcing game 3. The 1 hour 33 minute mark with an official FFR bot time of 1 hour 33 minutes 19 seconds. Team Ordeals with it forces the game 2.
That was intense. Talk about a gatekeeper Kraken. Oh, wow. I mean, we really got to ask Sledge what happened, because based on what we saw, unless Chaos just went full, attack mode in his dive, I don't see him dying at that, because that knight still had, almost 700 HP. I mean, those spells aren't going to do that much.
Yeah, and looks like Neon Gray is joining us. I'm going to drag them down into chat, into our voice room. If I can't grab.
So, Super Luigi and Sledge are still continuing to try and dive down in there. Sledge is back into the water floor here to take on the Gatekeeper. Kraken to OK Men over in the top left. They're, well, in being OK Men and just causing problems of sorts.
And it looks like there is a forfeit from Team Supersledge. And we're joined by Neon Gray. GG, Neon. How was that Temple of Fiends Revisited for you?
Oh my god. That was a
Take some
thing.
deep breaths. You earned it.
Yeah. I was honestly, when I got through Kraken, I did not know what to expect. Because that, yeah.
GG, Neon.
Thank you. Whoa.
Oh my fucking crap.
Language.
F-bomb. F-bomb. F-bomb.
That's why I changed words.
Yes, not that I blame you for that, but, oof.
How often did you redive Toph?
That was actually my second run. That was also, split wiped on the second run also. I think he was, at that point, he was just going for Brax on Kraken.
We were on our 4th.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I was terrified. I saw one of you guys typing.
Yeah, I was typing. I got done ready just in case. But
yeah, at that point I thought, oh my god, they're pulling chaos. They got through somehow.
I actually got through. It's just I got. What was it? I think it was a fighter only.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I got wiped by Tiamat because she was also punch happy like Kraken.
Yeah, she was very hitty. Oh.
Neon, I want to give you some quick information, and then I'm gonna let. Now it's my turn to step on you, Dang.
Okay.
Neon, you guys were actually a little behind Supersledge early on. The difference here between some of the strategies. I'm gonna mute you, Sledge. We're getting a lot of background noise from
Okay.
you.
Sorry.
You're good. The difference here was Ordeals with it had the Masa.
Yes.
Supersledge had the Vorpal. Now,
yeah, Vorpal was like right for the start. Yeah.
Where was Massa? Because we were looking for it.
Massa was off Sarda. Sarda was.
I found Sarda, but I didn't get it from him.
No, Masa was on the Dwarven Blacksmith.
Oh
Okay,
right, yes, from the dwarf, right? Which was at Sarda. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, we did see. Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah.
Get that.
Yeah. I don't know if that was the difference in this run.
It probably was.
Ordeals with it entered Temple of Fiends about 5 minutes behind Supersledge. And my concern watching this run as a commentator, and when you go back and watch this VOD, there's plenty of commentator curses to go around. And so apologies for your rewatch there. Super Luigi and Neon Gray, you both did not have access to the white magic.
That's
no,
right.
yeah, we got. That's kind of how it goes with Reds.
Mm-hmm.
But
I probably could have made it through if I had the life spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that did it for me was actually I was the one who found Bahamut, so it was so I had actually made it through with the I actually made it out with like my fighter and my one of my red mages alive. So at that point I just took those two out of grind.
Mhm.
But I was actually like full promoted, so at that point, I had like really, really heavily geared party. So and then I did a secondary grind after the first wipe. So by
Yep.
that point, I was able to do things like triple nuke through the two early fiends, that kind of thing.
I did give you guys some pretty good item magic early on. Dang, what was your question?
Oh, it was more towards Sledge because we seen he went through into chaos, and from what I seen from Neon Gray going through and taking on chaos was a very cast happy, very low level spells, and I was kind of surprised that Sledge had wiped. Unfortunately,
On a rub.
you went through. You got rubbed through your ribbon.
Yeah, I forgot to
Oh,
flip my ribbon around.
Oh, okay. I was
that
wondering
hurt.
because I was wondering why you had died and reset out, but that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, got to take off the defense sword off my knight.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
what
I
your
was
knight
hitting
was
chaos
from.
really low.
Yeah. That'll
But
do
no,
it.
what killed me was Tia. Because I had my white mage up at Tia. It's Tia that destroyed my white mage.
Courtesy of
'Cause I had
commentator curse,
life 1
man.
and life 2. Oh yeah, I had life 1 and life 2.
There
Yep.
was
Yeah.
As soon as I mentioned that your white mage was still up, or your white wizard was still up, Tia immediately punched her. So
Of course.
apologies.
Yeah.
I was gonna
It's
say
your fault. It's your fault.
I think the first time Super Luigi went up against Tiamat 2, I was like, okay, this is good. He's got a couple of Viz 2 stacks on the Knights, and he's got 7 in Viz, and then Tiamat just wails the White Wizard. I'm just like,
Or the
Well,
the red wizard,
oh.
yeah.
there was a White Wizard there.
No,
That
there's
was
no
the-
way.
Or, I mean, a
red.
Red Wizard. There was a
Yeah.
Red Wizard there.
But-
I was so scared when she was like sniping the knight. It's like, hit the red mage. Please hit the red mage. Don't hit the knight.
GG Neon Gray. Make sure you tell Split Punch the
Oh yeah,
GG's.
GG
So
on
Oh yeah,
this
of course,
run.
yeah.
this you guys needed to win this game 3 to determine who moves on to the round of 8 to face Thunderous Recap. So I know Minochi85, Thundercloud, they're out there watching, they're taking notes. Neon Gray,
Oof.
what are your do you have any final thoughts here with this seed, or how you're going to prepare for this game 3 that you have coming up?
Hard to say. Like I've got work tomorrow, so it's not a practice night. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, I think we've got a pretty good system down. It's just we'll see how it goes during the real thing. You guys have put up a really good fight.
Hey, for 2
Yeah.
ducklings.
Sledge,
I've-
Super Luigi, Upstarts 2.0, Show
I'm
Me New
just-
Blood. What were your final thoughts here?
I'm just surprised that we're actually able to give these guys a fight. So, like, I was surprised we won the last race.
And
I'm
this
actually
race
really,
was close.
I'm really mad that we lost this race because I did not want round 3 because I wanted to start practicing for week 2.
Well, we're
Strong
not gonna be that
showing.
easy for you.
Strong
Yeah.
showing from Supersledge for sure.
Okay, yeah.
It,
Yeah,
it
so
really is.
next game is Thursday.
I have to admit, Super Luigi and Sledge, I think you two are downselling you guys' play. At least in the co-op, you two are, showing a very good showing, like a very strong showing, and you two are working very well together.
I think the humble pie will only get you guys so far. I've seen the times you guys are putting up in the different duckling seeds and things like that. You guys are.
I've only ran 2 duckling seeds, and they were both terrible times.
Yeah, I've just been getting really lucky time.
Well, don't sell yourself short. You're doing great so far.
Yeah.
Just don't do a little less great on Thursday, please.
So
If
game
I
3.
can just add one thing, my final thoughts would be, oh my god,
Oh, that crack
Yeah.
so bad.
The Kraken was bad. I got unlucky with Tia. If Tia had missed and I had survived a turn, I probably could have made it past Tia.
I will remind you all, the definition of luck is the intersection of preparation and opportunity. So as long as you have the
Yeah.
preparation, you'll be given the opportunity, and then you'll make it through. This was a fun race to watch. All four runners, you did great. Strong showings. The Topher was the real MVP here. Kraken 2, play of the game several times.
It's called the Great Equalizer for a reason.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, we really saw that today.
Dangwu, any final thoughts here before we let Randomania have their channel back?
I just wanted to thank Neon Gray. I believe you were the one that quaked Chaos literally inside of 7 minutes for that.
Lich.
Yes, yes.
I thank you.
Yes, the 6-minute lich kill.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lich kill. I was really hoping you were going to go in at level 1 and, just kill Lich at level 1.
I had 1 hit point left. I nearly did it, but I was like, I've got 1 hit point on everybody. I shouldn't get.
Won the
I
hearts and
fight
minds
first.
of everyone in chat if you had done. No.
Yeah, I
That's
killed Lich 1 at level 5. And it's like, I was like, I've got Fire 3. I've got Flame Sword. Let's do this. And yeah, good. Yeah.
But for me, I just want to thank Randomania for hosting, for allowing us to, to set up and host us on their site and stuff like that. You, the fans out there, Hangry Canuck hanging in the background, doing his thing, and Caleb, we did comms together. Together.
This is the second time, Dangwu.
I already forgot the first time.
Forget the first race we did.
Was it a good time? I can't remember, but it was a great time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dangwu. As always, a great commentator to have in the booth. Neon Gray, Split Punch, Supersledge, Super Luigi Sledge. I hope you guys have a great race on Thursday. Do you know what time that race is going to be so we can get folks hyped for that?
It's a half an hour before this one was, so
Yes.
it's
7:30.
7:30.
7:30 Eastern on the Randomania family channels. You can find the finale between Team Ordeals with it and Supersledge. The Hangry Canuck, thank you so much for doing the tracking, watching all 4 screens, doing the best you can. Dangwu, thank you for doing the restream, man. I understand how difficult it can be to do comms and restream, the double duty. You did it. Can't thank you enough. Randomania, thank you so much for hosting the entire Final Fantasy Randomizer Co-op tournament. And we will see you guys at the next one.